continue on. Okay, after 18 months of intense analysis and vigorous debate about the future of Cooper Union, the time has come to set our institution on a path that will enable it to survive and thrive well into the future. Consequently, the Board of Trustees voted last week to reduce the full tuition scholarship to 50% for all undergraduates admitted to the school with the Cooper Union beginning with the class entering in the fall of 2014. Under the new policy, the Cooper Union will continue to adhere to the vision of Peter Cooper, who founded the institution specifically to provide a quality education to those who might not otherwise be able to afford it. Consequently, we will provide additional scholarship funding for those with need, including full tuition scholarships to students with the greatest need. We intend to keep admissions needs in mind. Current undergraduates, as well as those undergraduates entering in the fall of 2013, will continue to receive the full tuition scholarship for the duration of their undergraduate education. Our priorities have been and will continue to be quality and access, so that we will remain a true meritocracy of outstanding students of all socioeconomic backgrounds. We are also committed to sustaining the Cooper ethos, the development of talented students into extraordinary citizens. Students who are drawn to Cooper are not only top students, but highly motivated individuals focused on their area of study. Our students are collaborative and genuinely supportive of one another. The steps we are taking are designed to enable us to continue to uphold and enhance the immersive, conservatory style of education of which we are so proud. In arriving at our decision, the board thoroughly analyzed a wide range of options, mindful of how the full tuition scholarships have been central to our identity. Being mostly alumni ourselves, we share your sense of loss of this extraordinary tradition. In final analysis, however, we found no viable solutions that would enable us to maintain the excellence of our programs without incorporation of a scholarship policy. We cannot rely on rent from the Chrysler building, or the income from the Chrysler building, to solve our long-term problems. Even though our rent income from the Chrysler lease is scheduled to increase dramatically in 2018-19, deficits are forecast to grow forever after that. This is because the rent income remains flat for a decade, followed by a small increase, which then again remains flat for a decade. From 2019 until the next rent increase, 2029, the annual compound growth rate of our Chrysler income, which is the rent plus the tax equivalency payment, is 1.4%, well below projected inflation. The board also considered the possibility of downsizing the institution while maintaining our current scholarship policy. We concluded that there are no viable downsizing options that would not involve closing one or more of our 3 schools. Reducing the enrollment in our existing programs does not produce proportional savings. Neither can the projected $12 million annual deficit be closed through budget cuts. Even significant reductions and above the $4 million that already has been cut would require maintaining the growth in our expenses below 2% per year indefinitely. With our health care costs alone projected to rise at 7.5% per year, such a plan would be wishful at best. The new programs proposed by the faculty are innovative, and the administration will work with the faculty to launch them as appropriate. Our belief in the potential of these programs is one of the factors that has enabled us to offer the minimum 50% scholarship to all students. However, the competitive environment and reasonable caution led us to estimate that these programs will only close about 1/3 of the deficit. At the same time, maintaining the highest standards of excellence means that we must constantly aim to improve through investment. We must engage in a continuous process of strengthening our academic programs, our faculty, and clarity of our academic reputation. The institution will invest in our programs and our faculty to ensure that we always are and are regarded as equal to the best. New York City has become a magnet for entrepreneurial innovation in technology and design. The Cooper Union must play a key role in the city's transformation as it has done historically. For students and faculty, New York City is their professional home, their studio, their laboratory, and their subject matter. New York is a crucible for addressing some of the great challenges of our time: sustainable urban design, climate change, energy, healthcare, economic disparities, and the role of art in society. By achieving financial soundness, Cooper is the perfect platform to carry out its work. decisions are difficult for everyone to accept. We look forward to working together with all of you to building a future that will ensure the preservation of the Cooper Union as a great educational institution that remains true to Peter Cooper's founding principles. Thank you. If you have questions, please write them down with people that distribute cards. And I asked the questions, most of the information has been already spoken about the last year and a half. There are any real new facts to deal with, but I'm going to take questions.
If you guys have questions, just raise your hand and we'll pass it next time.
This is a waste of time.
If you don't want to do anything, please. The problem was, we were trying to keep the scholarship as high as possible, but the 25% tuition or 75% scholarship wouldn't bring in enough income. You have to realize that there's still, if everybody was able to pay 25%, that would probably bring in enough income, to match. But we know there's going to be students that can't afford to pay, there'll be students that can pay the full rate, and then there'll be a sliding scale in between. So it's determined that 50% is the number that was needed to match our needs. Next question. Will full tuition scholarships be reconsidered in the future? How soon are they, until they are reconsidered? I think full tuition scholarships will probably always be reconsidered if it's possible, but that would be up to the board at the time. I don't see it happening in the next few years. We have a number of years. That's still going to be difficult to get through. At that point, I would say ask the current board, because it's not, we can't commit what the board will do in the future. We can only do what we feel best for now. How much tuition will you charge? What is the full rate? I believe the current listed rate now is $38,500 a year. I believe you get a bill at the beginning of every year that states the tuition, offset by full
I can't
tuition.
understand the word you're saying. Please speak slowly and
Okay.
clearly.
Okay, the question was, how much tuition will you charge, and what is the full rate? I said the answer is that the full rate now is $38,500. The students get a bill for $38,500, but it's offset by 100% scholarship, so the balance is zero. So the full tuition was 50%, which is half of that, which is $19,250.
So fun.
There's also a question about today's tuition. Expected timeline of this 50% tuition rate, when will tuition end? We don't have a set end to this. As far as we're looking at it for the year, and not too distant future, that's the rate that we will be at. We don't expect it to change that soon.
Yeah, you want to be.
You mentioned that the 50% tuition was based on gaining money from the professor's revenue-generating projects. Is that number subject to change based on the success of these programs? And then will this 50% apply to the graduate programs as well? No, this 50% is undergraduate students. The graduate programs will be separately. This isn't, the money we're taking into account that money will be generated from these programs that the faculty have developed or will be developing. We had to moderate that because we can't expect, or it wouldn't be wise to think they'd be 100% successful. I mentioned in the talk about the competition out there and the economic climate. So we've discounted that, and that's in the, if we went without revenue from the new program, the tuition would have to be higher. So we said it early on that it's not going to be one silver bullet that solves our financial problem. The tuition, the scholarship reduction is only one of the solutions to this big problem. Revenue generating programs are another. Will the quality of education increase with the increase in price? Better facilities, research. Well, the goal is always to have the best education possible. You know, I've given an example in the past about the lack of money and how it affects us. When the new building was built, I took a tour of the building with Simon Benedict, that's the previous dean of the engineering school. And he showed me in the labs downstairs a really great milling machine that the school was able to acquire. But the school didn't have $10,000 to buy the cutting head to make the machine as effective as it was supposed to be. Hopefully these things will make a difference to the educational quality. Are we going to change the name of the school since we will be providing education at the cost of a state school? No. If we change the name, it won't be for that reason. But we have no plans to change the name right now. Will the library space be downsized before reconfigured? Will the library personnel be downsized? The library space is something that's being looked at because it's a lot of space, it's valuable space, and you know, schools all around the country are closing libraries. We're not advocating closing the library, but we are looking at the use of space throughout the entire institution. Please clarify, we intend to keep admissions need blind. Well, we intend to keep admissions need blind as they've always been. Again, this is our intention and this is going to be the policy. If years down the line something has to change, the boards in the future will address that. Will tuition rates be equal for all three schools? Yes. We have three schools, but it's one college. So if one of students in the college will be charged equal. What are plans for major fundraising? What about investment in faculty? So first, yes, there are plans for major fundraising. One of the things that we've been holding off on in starting the campaign is you have to go out with a mission, you have to go out with a vision of the school. Having a tuition issue in the finances in question would not make for a successful start of the campaign. Now that we have a new direction, we can start looking for new fundraising campaigns. That's necessary. Most schools continuously do fundraising campaigns, and we hope to be successful. And you can all help. What about investment in faculty? Yes, the school always needs new faculty. It's troubling because we haven't had a budget that enabled new hires, and we're looking to hire new faculty. Where is Jamshed? Why is he not here? Jamshed is sitting here. Why he's not speaking is because this is a board decision, not an administration decision. The board is fully unanimously behind Jamshed and his leadership in the institution to see us through this plan. But this is a board decision. Yeah, he's one vote on the board. We have 20-some odd members on the board. Each person has a vote. So he's voting on more than one thing. But this is a board decision, not an administration decision. But he's here, he's not hiding. This is really good. Okay, how can you guarantee the cost of tuition to not snowball into more money? Well, in the resolution that was passed by the board, it was maximized to 50%, or the scholarship would be reduced to no less than 50%. So, can I guarantee that 20 years from now? No, but in the near future, yes, I can guarantee that. Just like I can't guarantee you, that we can't go back to a full tuition one day, I can't guarantee that this will be the way it is. We now improve board of trustee transparency and shared governance. You asked to hear about this decision as soon as possible, and you are. The final decisions on this were made on Sunday. We've been more transparent and given more information than any other school I've seen. We have more meetings with faculty, people, student representatives. So I'd like somebody to define more transparency for me one day. What's that? Yeah, we have shared governance. We have people, we deal with representatives from all areas of the school. Like I said, again, what do you mean by, I'd like to hear, not right now, what do you mean by shared governance?
You read my question twice and put it down. I asked when the board members are stepping down.
You have to wait. You want to hear as soon as possible, or you want a lot of notice? You choose which one you want. We want to get this out as soon as we possibly can, because that's what we said we would do.
Never mind. I also asked what they're going to do about the 22.
The number of technicians will be reduced due to the school's financial issues. Hopefully the school will keep the number of technicians that are necessary to keep the educational level where we would like.
What was your exact question?
That's a decision for the deans and the administration, not the board.
One of the board members going to step down and let someone who knows what they're doing run the school.
What do you mean by need-based scholarships? I am from Nepal. My need is 80 times an American citizen. International students eligible for scholarship. We haven't spoken about changing the policy as far as students from our country. Was the board decision unanimous? Was the vote?
What'd you say again?
I will say the vote was not unanimous.
Who knows what they're doing in the school?
Cast when the votes were unanimous, we stated that, but I won't get into the breakdown, that doesn't matter. The decision is made by the majority of the board, no matter what side. Now that tuition is being implemented, can you work on developing a board that's not 100% old white men? It's not 100% old white men. We have another woman joining in June. It's a constant battle to try to find. Trustees don't grow on trees. It's not an easy task to become a trustee of any institution. And we are constantly searching.
Such a joke.
We're in contact with to try to diversify the board as best as we can.
They have binders of women.
We realize that we're too one-sided. How can we appeal to new students? Sorry. But at the end of it,
Ask them if they have binders.
do you feel like it's reasonable to ask students to pay for tuition while the Cooper Union still lacks many accommodations? There's no housing, no cafeteria, no gym, etc. Once there is a tuition being paid, will those things become readily available to students?
Yes, 96.
How can we appeal to new students? Cooper Union has never been known as a party school.
That has nothing to do with partying. That has. I'm sorry, food is a fucking fundamental item. Sorry.
With as much as we possibly can, but
Party school. Get the fuck out.
can't do everything that somebody may like. It's always a challenge, but you can provide support.
Sorry, son.
You show the numbers there, everybody. There's no extra money to add a lot of these things. This tuition is not great.
I'm gonna
This
keep
is money
going.
that's necessary to keep us going in a good manner.
What happens when the people who are paying
Yeah, I'm not going. Howie. I'm going late.
Well,
I'm going late.
They're not going to lose your
I'm really nervous.
You're right. when the students are paying one meal plans that they can go and eat.
Is that partying though? I'm confused.
I'm not trying to be a wise guy by saying that if they're willing to pay more, they can probably get more. Like in any other institution, other places that charge $50,000 a year have these things because they have money to provide it. You don't have the finances to provide that now. You personally feel a sense of failure? Absolutely not.
I'm glad.
What was the question? Or statement?
Do you personally feel a sense of failure?
Sense of
Failure. I'm so
What if
bad.
all accepted students demonstrate financial need of the full scholarship? It's statistically very unlikely. I just want to question that. What if everybody can pay the full rate? I mean, these don't really matter very much.
They matter to us.
Or, I guess not.
Could you read all the questions?
David.
No,
David.
I'm not going to answer some questions that are patently offensive or inflammatory. I won't read those.
Do you have indigestion? Is it inflammatory?
Are you censoring us?
Yes.
Do you consider allowing the school to be self-managed? I'm not sure what that means. Right. All right, have you thought about how the demographics of the school will change and how that will affect the students' education of excellence? Hopefully the demographics won't change all that much. We're still going to stick for these lines of district policy. We're losing a lot of students now, students in need, because other schools can offer better financial packages than we've been able to do. We can offer 100% scholarship. Other schools give students free room and board, free books, free laptop, and spending money to travel home. So a lot of most of these students are not coming to students because we can't match other financial packages. That's just the fact of life. Me and my fellow students frequently say we wouldn't have chosen Cuba if it wasn't free. How will you attract students? Well, to tell you the truth, if people are coming here merely because we're free, we're doing something wrong. Okay, that should not be the main reason people come to Cuba. People should come to Cuba because they're serious about getting a great education. The fact that it's been tuition free is that's grading on the plate.
That's why it's good.
No, that's not why it's good.
That's the point.
Please write your questions if you have questions. To avoid the consideration of charging tuition, how many millions of dollars would the school community need? We would probably need a minimum of an additional $300 to $400 million if we wanted to keep things the way it is. During this process, we've been hearing about sustainability for quite some time. And the question has been raised and debated about, what does sustainability actually mean? Does it mean just eliminating the deficits and breaking even? Or does it mean being sustainable and sustaining the institution as an institution second to none? Which would mean having the money needed for new faculty, new programs, new equipment. So, that's why we would need, many, few hundred millions of dollars to keep us just where we are. And if we want to continue to be an institution of the highest quality, we need even more. And you estimate roughly what percentage of current students would be paying the 50%. Okay, the school has not been asking for financial information from the applicants. The only ones who provide financial information are those who apply for additional financial aid, such as scholarship. So So this is why consultants were brought in, so we can try to figure out, and this will be amended over time as we start getting information from the incoming student body. We estimate that about 25% of the students coming in will still get 100% scholarship because of these. And probably maybe 50%, or 25 to 50% will probably be able to pay the full 50% of the tuition that's left. The balance will be a sliding scale depending on their income and their family participation in their finances. No, you don't get a swimming pool now.
That wasn't even my question.
What will stop an inflation increase in this 50% tuition? What happens if the 50% of the current tuition runs out? What is the projected tuition in future years? What is 50% of projected tuition in 2030? Well, we've learned, just for the last part, we've learned that we really can't project anything out with any accuracy 20, 30 years from now. We stop even trying that. It's been off by one little fraction of a percentage point taken out over a couple of decades. It's so wide.
Yeah, you can project that we need to have
what will
tuition.
stop, the first part is very good part.
Like what?
What will stop an inflation increase in this 50%? If you will donate to the school, that will stop. It's amazing to us why, when we suggest that the alumni support the school, you get comments like this.
Because you know the price of everything but the value of nothing, sir.
Why are you skipping all these questions? Why are you skipping all these questions?
Because they're duplicate.
Write your question down.
Those who complain about using the gym, etc., can sign up for Absolutely. It's only $12.99 a month. Thank you, whoever wrote that. Now, have you considered how this decision will affect alumni donations? Yes, that's been a part of our conversation. The 100% scholarship has not done great for alumni donations, to be honest with you. 20% of the alumni give back on a regular basis, which is pretty low considering what everybody's done. You know, my return to question, why don't we charge tuition, reduce the scholarship to 50%, and donations go up because people now value the scholarship more? You know, it's one of those questions that's hard to predict, but to answer the question, not just alumni donations, but for the people on the outside who have been reluctant to donate because they don't want to provide free educations for those who can otherwise afford it. Well, they've sort of lost part of that argument now, so we're anticipating getting more donations from people outside of the alumni body. That pays for your education. Yeah, other than the 50% merit-based scholarship awarded to every new student, will Cooper Union give other scholarships based on merit? The answer is yes.
But not international students, no.
Again, no, we're not going to get a rock wall.
So there's a good question. If it's an orange, there's a decent question before that. And the question is, I'd like to know whether or not, if we're, from my understanding, we're expanding, we have a lot of number of rooms settled to be in a PS 96, which, by the way, there's a lot of issues with that in the first place. So if we still have a dorm and there is a new dorm, my question is, do we have plans to sell the current dorms that we're in?
No, I already answered that question. We're not selling the dorm.
Right, my question is, why do we need that many spaces? Why do we need that? Why do we need that many beds?
People are asking what housing we're looking at housing options.
Why do we need
I answered the question. I'm answering these questions.
my question was not
Rather
answered.
than that.
It seems to be expansion.
This is why I'm taking written questions only.
I wrote it down here, and actually it was just in your hand, and you read the last sentence and passed it off.
This format of asking questions is insulting.
Maybe so. Being yelled at like the last meeting was offensive, so we're trying to keep it civil.
We've been nothing but civil. Let us ask civil questions.
These are very civil questions. Which one was it? I'm sorry. Oh, okay. You know, and everybody who raises that question, I myself went to another school before I went to school for a year. And every school, that paid different rates. In the state school where I went for 1 year, there were students from the state who paid a certain amount. There were students who got scholarships. There were out-of-state students that paid. Nobody cares what their neighbors pay. That's a myth. Nobody cares for you. In general, it doesn't. People don't care. Well, I would ask them, why do you care what somebody else is paying? Because they're great education.
School to be free again as the students paid. How is paying students ever want the school to be free again? With the generational split between paying and not paying students, how can we ever hope to be free again?
If the school were to reach a point in the future, like it did in 1902, when there was a large donation that enabled it, the school potentially could do that again in the future.
But they would have to remove all of the expensive things that we've done, as in buying a new dorm. How do you downgrade from that?
We're not buying.
Investing into the It's for what number of students?
That's not investing the school money.
Oh, my question to you, maybe you got
When you start filling admissions quota, no, there's no need for that. We have, in engineering school now, there's 125 spots that are filled every year. There's roughly about 225 students that are deemed acceptable to Cooper standards. To fill the 125 spots, about 175 students are invited to come to Cooper Union, knowing that 50 will not come here, even though it's free. So free doesn't seem to be the end all of everything here, but fully 50 out of 175 students are not coming here. So we will probably lose some students because of this, but we still have a cushion of qualified students, so the student body level and quality as they I can see that. In continued efforts to save money, will old and very old professors do up and buy it. We have faculty that are here under tenure systems. We're not looking to alter the policy of the teachers. If you have a problem, talk to the teachers. That's not our job.
It's not your job to talk to your faculty?
No, the board doesn't really talk to the faculty. That's the administration's role.
That's the problem. One of them.
We meet with faculty members, but we don't dictate that.
Who do you represent?
We try to represent Peter Cooper. Why do you compare us to other schools? We have never been like any other. Why is various strategy? First of all, there are other schools that are free or have been free that also found the need to change their policies. So we can't not compare ourselves to other schools.
I thought we weren't about being free, though.
Excuse me? I didn't hear that.
If the other schools that are free are like us, you said our school isn't about being free. What is it about then?
It's about an excellent education.
So are the...
The other schools also provide excellent education. There's a Curtis Institute of Music, which is free, which is a great school. There's a Colbert School of Music in California. That's free, which was started with an $800 million gift from its founder. We can't compete with that.
Excellence isn't something that you have to put on the website. It's something that you have to invest in, and that happens in the classroom. And if you don't let the school be 100% full scholarship, it's not going to be anything more than just a word on the website.
Well, there are other schools. There are other schools that are excellent that charge full tuition to their students, that have $40,000, $50,000, and they're excellent schools.
We're not ever going to see that.
I'm looking for two questions. I'm sorry.
I asked the question about whether faculty will be involved in these plans to be raised for the higher facilities and so on that you're mentioning possible revenue. But I also wanted to ask you that before. Because when everybody is not in class on the same tuition basis, it makes it subtle in other ways. The whole atmosphere there of the teaching atmosphere of school in general, are we going to have some plans for dealing with that on the ground? And at that time you said, well, you have consultants for that. I wonder if now we're going to be able to learn that to be prepared.
Well, I'd actually be surprised if that changes attending the classroom. If you can't run a classroom with students varying financial, right now there's different financial statuses among the students in the classroom. Look, the bottom line, as unpleasant as it is that out of all of the options that we looked at to solve this, okay, let me answer, please. Out of all of the options that we looked at, one that was taken off of the table pretty immediately was the option to do nothing, to change nothing, because that was a death sentence. Okay, so we had to come up with something that was going to work for the future. Yes, it's going to be a series of compromises. That's inevitable. When the Constitution was written, Benjamin Franklin got everybody to agree, and he didn't walk out of his book, by saying that he wasn't sure it was the best they can do, but he wasn't sure they can do any better. And we're basically at that time here. So, it's the old line too, that everybody wants progress, but nobody wants change. And unfortunately, changes have to be made. And these are what we feel would be the least damaging changes amongst all the other options. I have 2 more minutes. Let's see if I get as many questions in. How unlike an institution that abandoned its mission statement of full tuition scholarships to all universities continue to go under the title, the Cookie Media for the Advancement of Science and Art. It's a very simple answer. The title is not the free Cookie Media for the Advancement of Science and Art. The mission of teaching science and art as best as possibly is still the goal of the school, whether it is tuition or not.
What is the motto of the founding members? Free as air and water.
The free and air and water dimensional. Peter Cooper never said free and air and water. That was said by Edwin Ewing after Carnegie gave the huge gift and enabled it to be free as air and water. Peter Cooper in his writings actually said for every paying student, every student that pays supports 3 students that don't pay. That's in what Peter Cooper's writing. So the free and air and water turned out to be a myth of Peter Cooper.
That's not true.
Peter Buckley was the one who discovered that.
Yes.
And he's not on our side here. So.
This school
You know,
was free before 1902.
everybody's
Historian, let him talk.
Everybody's entitled to your own opinion. That's fine, but not your own.
It's a trustee report.
Ask that question in 10 years. Let's see how it pans out. And then we'll see. Because there's nothing to apologize for now. Yeah. Okay, that's the end of the question. Thank you for your time. And if you have further questions, you can email them in. Thank you.